Yeah. It seems to balance those elevated elements, like you've got the caviar on the menu, the oysters, craft cocktails, with kind of the warmth that keeps, the people returning. So how did you decide how you were going to balance those two? Because obviously you're modernizing a pretty historic space, and then you're trying to blend these two elements. What was the process of going through that?
So I guess, it was because we felt like so much of like, cocktails is such a big part of what we do. And we
Yeah.
felt like that most cocktail bars at the time were very modern. And so thinking back to what was classic and what was going to be like sort of trend proof was sort of always our motto. So even though we were like updating a space, we got old light fixtures off of eBay that we had wired and things
Oh,
like that.
cool.
So there was always sort of this kind of keeping it old. And not in a way that felt sort of cosplay or anything like that. We didn't want anybody to dress the part or, so.
The room has always felt a little bit out of time with the old wood and the leather and the dim lighting. And there's a lot of restaurants and restaurant design these days that can, if it's contemporary in design, it can feel dated in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I really enjoyed about our space is that it looks as good today as it did when we opened 12 years ago, just because those things are already out of time and they're just classic and they just fit the nature of the building so well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the food too, because like oysters are a main part of your menu. You've got a lot, very classic American dishes, steak and seafood on there. But oysters seems like either you could put oysters on the menu or you are an oyster place, and there's two definite differences between those two, where you're sourcing out oysters from different areas. You are understanding the nuances between the flavor of Pacific versus Atlantic versus different areas, and then you're also pairing drinks. So it becomes a whole program.
Yeah, I think for Brian Rackley, one of the other partners of Kimball House, I think oysters has been a love affair and really close to his heart for a long time. And he heads up the oyster program, or the oyster situation as it's usually known as. He's just spent so many years building connections and relationships with oyster farmers and harvesters and the companies that distribute them. And it's become a game of logistics. I mean, just the organization that it takes to get things shipped in a day out of the water with, really short tag dates, and constantly cycling out the menu where things will come on, we'll sell them out, 86 them by the end of the night, and then new oysters come on the next day. It's a lot of work, but it keeps a menu of like 15, 18, sometimes like 20 plus oysters each night. Really exciting for the guests and for the staff as well. The oyster program.
I also feel like it's the kind of thing where when you have that many oysters on a tray, or that many like options, that people, they'll want to try as many different kinds as they can.
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
it's like offering pairings to go with the oysters. It kind of like is a great introduction to a meal, because it kind of like opens your mind to the idea that you're going to be trying new things and kind of paying attention to the food and drink in a different way than just for sustenance.
Yeah.
Is there
Food experience.
There's a conversation on pairing drinks with them as well, because classically champagne, Pilsner, ice cold Martini
Yeah.
are all sort of perfect
Right.
accompaniments, and a great way to start. And guests who may not drink martinis are oftentimes saying, "Hey, let me try the Kimball House," and then they realize, "Oh, maybe I do like gin. Maybe
Yeah.
this is what I like now."
The demand for group and private events is at an all-time high. Is your business ready to capitalize on all these opportunities? With Restaurant as your booking partner, you can ensure event success this year and beyond.
With no booking fees or commissions, Restaurant has helped over 2,000 restaurants, bars, and breweries reach local event planners who are looking for a space for their next gathering. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or corporate event, Restaurant will get your space booked.
Try it today and receive 3 months completely risk-free by signing up at restaurant.com/podcast. That's RESTAURENT.com/podcast.